because I don't know anything about them. So there you go.
Hello, you lovers of music, and particularly you connoisseurs of vinyl, be it at 33 and a third or 45, but probably 33 and a third, because we're looking at LPs. Ben has been buying more. So, Ben, what have you been doing? What have you got?
Well, can I just say for the record, for the record, see the pun there. Oh, I threw that one in. That was a good one. Anyway, for the record, I didn't buy all of these. 3 of them were gifts.
Okay.
So, are you ready for the first one? Now, I can't remember if I discussed this one on the last album or not, but on the last album, on the last
On the last show of your
my...
albums, yeah.
Yeah, but this one, it's a hip hop album.
Is that NWA? No, or is it?
No, it's IV 4 Against 5.
Okay, I don't know it. I'm not hip hop
So
enough.
I'm not hip hop. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what it's like when I get round to listening to it, Phil, which will probably be a long time. So yeah, so I got that. I haven't listened to it yet because don't have time really. Next up, anyway, so yeah, go check them out. If you like your hip hop, go check it. Next up is the return of Blur. Now, I know people might be saying, "Oh, you're an Oasis fan. You can't like Blur." Well, you can, and not all their stuff, because a lot of their stuff is.
Now, did you buy that, or was it bought for you?
This was bought for me by my mother, so she's watching. Thanks, Mum.
Is that because she knows you're into Oasis and thought she'd buy you a Blur one as a joke,
maybe,
or was it
maybe
just a
she
serious?
hates me, and that's why she bought it me.
Or did she just know that it was a cool album that had been highly regarded this year, or did you put it on your list?
I may have put it on my list. Talking of that, I can wait there because I'm talking about Blur. I'll just waft myself with this, just so I feel a little bit better.
Was that just a mat for putting your plates on?
No, it's a tin thing. I ordered it and I've got nowhere to put it, so it's just living underneath my record player at the moment. But it's quite cool, isn't it? So now I've touched Blur, I can hold on to this and I feel pure again. Sorry, Noel. I do apologise. I'm just going to slide you back into there. So yeah, apparently it's supposed to be critically acclaimed. I don't know what it's like. I do like, is it The Narcissist? I quite like that song. I don't think it's going to be happy Cockney music like their early days and stuff.
No, I don't think it is. I must admit, you know what I'm like? It takes me about a year or 18 months to listen to these new albums when they come out. Yeah. So I haven't actually got into it yet, but I will be. It's on my list.
Yeah, so
it's on my aspiration list.
And then, so I am quite looking forward to listening to that because his last solo album, Damon Albarn's, I really like because I've become a mellow guy, Phil. I quite like my somber music, my mellowness. Goes with my chakra, whatever that is. Anyway, next up is completely opposite of that. This was a gift to me. I got it Christmas Eve, and it's actually a birthday present. Bear in mind my birthday's in March. And it's from one of my oldest friends, the Mighty Sheps. And it is Manic Street Preachers.
That's gold against the soul, isn't it, that one?
It is indeed. It is indeed. I treated him. I actually got him Definitely Maybe, the remastered album for his birthday, and he's returned the favour with this.
Now, was that the 93 album? Was that 93?
It was 1993. I believe it was.
Was that the follow up to the first one? The first one was Generation Terrorist. Was that the second album?
No, and then they did album.
The Holy Bible was the fourth album. Oh, there was another one after. Yeah, I'm forgetting what the second album was.
Because I think I was saying to you today, I forgot until I listened to it recently how good an album Everything Must Go is. I really like that album. And I can't get it anywhere on vinyl. And I'm not allowed to buy any vinyl, so... Yeah, what you gonna do, Phil? What you gonna do? So I will get round to listening to that because it was a present from a friend. So, anyway, next up on my list... Oh, what's that? Oh, for some reason, I've got 2 copies of Rage Against the Machine. But will. I've got this. Another. He's a guy called Callum Pitt, and I'll tell you what they say about Mr. Pitt. So just bear with me, Philster, because we are unscripted, and therefore that means I don't have to do any research until
I don't
pushed
know
on the
anything
matter.
about Callum Pitt, I must confess. He's all new to me.
Well, let's see what Discogs says about him, shall we? Discogs says nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Is he that obscure he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page?
Shall we have a look at that? Let's have
Is
a
he not on
look.
All Music?
Callum Pitt.
Is he on, what was it called? That website.
Here we go.
What's the website that all the bands used to be on and they're not on it anymore?
MySpace.
MySpace, that was it, yeah.
Here he is. He looks like a nice guy. He's got a Gary Barlow jumper on.
Okay.
And it says here, an alternative folk rock artist from Newcastle. And this is his debut album, In the Balance.
Okay.
I think it came out last year, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it's a alternative rock. Yeah, from Newcastle. So there we go. So if you like a little bit of alternative Newcastle rock, it's not going to be Linda's Farm, but
No.
you know. So yeah, so I got that one, and then next up on my list, I quite like the album cover, and it is by, if I remember rightly, an artist called Kixie, and her album Slouch. Pretty cool.
Kixie, did you say?
Yeah, Kixie. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about Kixie?
Well, so you now just we're off the beaten track here, and I'm just saying who.
I know. Which when I go, oh, guess what fell on my doorstep today? 95% of your replies are
who? Never heard of it.
Yeah. Kixie, artist. Here we go. Kixie is a solo project of 21-year-old Guilana Mormile, a Canadian focused on the type of genre blending that allows for a little something for everyone.
Is this a girl strumming an acoustic guitar and singing arty songs? Is that basically what it is?
I don't think so.
No.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to pop this headphone in. I'll tell you.
What you're going to stream it, Ben? You vinyl traitor.
I know. Here we go. Kixie. I would say she's playing. No, it's a little bit. Yeah, I was just about to say it's a little bit emo. It's a little bit Avril Lavigne sort of feel with a bit more of a techno sort of beat behind it. Oh, I tell you what, there's a little thing on here. It says here, Kixie, the project of the 23-year-old Guilana Mormile. They began with rapid-fire Bandcamp uploads in early 2018.
She's a she, they. Okay, she's got
yeah.
She hasn't got a conventional pronoun. Okay.
No. Since then, their warm, incisive brand of electro-tinged emo pop has evolved and blossomed while still orbiting around Gilliana's base layers of brazen honesty, melodic magic tricks. So there we go. So I can see the emo pop thing going on. So whether I'll listen, a lot to it, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe you'll discover it in 5 years' time and think it's the best album ever made.
No. All right. Next up is right. Are you ready with your who? Do you want to say it now, or do you want me to show you it first?
Who?
Milk Jennings. That's who.
Oh yeah, yes, that well-known artist, that well-known international megastar.
Milk Jennings. I like the fact he's called Milk.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read you a little bit about Milk
Go on,
Jennings?
give us a synopsis of Milk Jennings.
Milk Jennings was born on a llama farm in Washington State, probably
Naturally.
with the Cocteau Twins. Yes, yeah. He spent his childhood playing D&D in the basement and baling hay until he turned 18 and moved to East New York City. He spent
That was a culture shock for him. Yeah.
Yeah. He spent 10 transformative years there working as a musician and visual artist before moving to Chicago for 2 years and then landing in Seattle in 2021. Isn't that where Nirvana are from, Seattle?
Yeah.
His
Back
debut
in
solo
Washington
record.
State, basically. Yeah.
This is his debut solo album, Sleep Talker. Let's see what it
I'm
says
kind of
about it.
interested in him now. You've made me interested in him.
Yeah, here it goes. This record is described by Jennings as impulsive, spontaneous, and uninhibited, full of childhood memories, adult anxieties, and love. All
Sounds like
told
you,
in
Ben, to be quite honest.
I know. All told in a very non-linear fashion. So, it's got a saxophonist on it. It might be all right though. It says here the record is inspired by an eclectic mix of decades of modern indie rock, from 60s psych rock and the Velvet Underground to 70s soft rock like Dan Fogelberg and Bread, to modern acts such as Andy Schauf, Rostam, and Sam Evian.
I'm kind of liking the fact that he likes a bit of Bread and a bit of 70s mellow rock. Okay, I'm up for that. Milk Jennings.
Go
What's the
check him
album
out.
called?
It's called Sleep Talker.
Okay, I am going to check that out.
Check that out. Let me know what you think. Next up, are you ready for your Who?
Who the hell are they? I've never heard of them.
It's Liam Gallagher, live at Nebworth. Don't know if you've heard of him. Used to be in a little band called Oasis.
Now, is this the concert that was it televised? Or there was a video? Did they put a video of this out?
He did a movie. Well, they released a documentary.
Was this the documentary where Noel wouldn't let him have certain songs on the documentary?
Yeah.
Is that the whole set on there?
It is the whole set, yeah. I was there on the 3rd of June. That isn't that's supposed to be a replica of the ticket, but
so
the ticket was on your phone.
Is this culled from 2 performances then, basically?
It is, yeah. And obviously you've got, he was joined, because he's just released today, hasn't he, his new single with John Squire.
Okay.
It's very Stone Roses-y feel to it. It's, I can't remember what it's called.
Is it a bit like latter Stone Roses, sort of second coming Stone Roses?
No, I would say it's more that, just another rainbow. It's more like, It's very much tinges of waterfall of it.
Okay.
So give it a listen. But yeah, because John Squire appeared on stage, as he did Nebworth in 1996, to play out Champagne Supernova.
A tricky guitar solo. They have to get a top guitarist to play that, don't they? Usually.
Yeah. So you've got the ticket there as well. Like I said, that must have been a ticket given to other people rather than the common folk, because it was all digital tickets on the day. So I've got that one. So great day, by the way. I even met our fellow YouTuber on there, who does all the Oasis stuff, James Hargreaves.
Yeah, well, he's got slightly more followers than us, hasn't he? Just a few.
Just a couple. But maybe we should tag him in and then we can steal some of his. Isn't that right, James? Give us a few. Next up, prepare your Who, because this is definitely a Who.
Can I just say, never heard of them?
Oh yeah. You can mix it up if you want between the two.
And it is. Oh, it's. Do you know, for a slight second there, I thought that was Jeremy Vine.
It does look a little bit like Jeremy Vine.
Just for the first second, it was Jeremy Vine.
It has been bugging me who he looks like, and he does look like Jeremy Vine.
You can imagine him on a bike in high vis, can't you, with a camera?
Yeah, telling everybody, it's a me. Oh, I don't know. I'm not even going to do.
You're not supposed to be in that lane.
Yeah, I used to be able to do. I've had emails read out on Jeremy Vine's show, but I used to be able to do a good impression of him, but I'm not going to. Well, but his name's Art de Echo. Art de
Echo. Okay.
Well, you try pronouncing that. Look, can you see the name there for that?
So he's Art de Echo, yeah. After the Head Rush. That's a bit of a Neil Young reference there, isn't it?
Let's see. It says on here, songs that sound like hits from an alternative dimension. And The Guardian said, got to believe it's in The Guardian, a dollop of arty, sparksy glam atop, a slice of glitzy synth pop, and anthemic to boot. So there we go. And you were mocking him. You didn't know who he was 2 minutes ago. Here we go. Let's see what the streaming service says about him in there about the artist. I won't pronounce his name because I'll get it wrong, but it says combines decades worth of stylish genre-bending music into his own subversively catchy sound and vision. The echoes blend of glam rock, post-punk and synth pop evoked by the likes of David Bowie, Iggy Pop, Robert Smith, without tracing their lines too closely. After the headrush, he added more ambition to the mix, giving his reflections on nostalgia in a cinematic sweep. And that was from All Music.
Okay.
So, Jeremy Vine.
It does look like him. For our viewers outside the UK, Jeremy Vine's a British radio TV broadcaster who is not a musician in any way, but he's just he's iconic.
His brother's a comedian.
He's iconic in a very uncool way, basically.
Yeah. Right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Got 5 left.
5 to go.
1, 2, 3.
It's nearly my bedtime, Ben. We've got to hurry up with this.
I know.
Okay, what have we got?
Falcon Jane and Faith.
Okay, she looks like she could be Florence and the Machine's sister.
That's what I thought when I picked it up. Do you want a quick buy-up on her?
Yeah, go on.
What it says about her, Falcon Jane. When I saw that, that's what I thought. I thought she does have a little Florence. It's the fringe, isn't it? It's all in the fringe. She is definitely a lady with a guitar. And it says here, Sarah May, the lead singer and songwriter of Canadian band Falcon Jane, has officially donned a cowboy hat, living in rural Ontario. Sarah and her partner Andrew have channeled their deep love of traditional country and western music and their affection for their small town home into a beautiful evolution of the Falcon Jane sound. They've retained their sunny temperament and Sarah's lyrical depth while refining their production and songwriting. The result is a song like Dirty Dog, a bitter and broken-hearted tune with a timeless Nashville country sound.
So they've got Dirty Dog. I guess that's not a cover of the ZZ Top song, then.
No, it's not. And it's not on this album. It must be on another album. So that is Falcon Jane.
Falcon Jane. It sounds like a character from a comic book.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like another Marvel spin-off.
Yeah.
Right, next up is a bit more hip-hop. I've listened to one track on the streaming services. And I can't actually remember what they're called, actually. So I'm going to have to write it. Kirk Knight. And the album's called I Will, I think. Something like that, anyway. Do you want a little buy-up on him?
Kirk Knight, did you say?
Kirk Knight, yeah. It says here, once again, that online shopping place did me a kipper. Here it goes, Kirk Knight. Here we go. For anybody who may be interested in buying the Kirk Knight album, Kirk Knight is a I can't speak, Phil. Prodigious.
Is he prodigious?
That's it. Talent hailing from the vibrant rap scene of Brooklyn, New York. His journey commenced in his early teens, exploring the realms of rhyming and music production. A fateful encounter with Joey Badass proved instrumental, setting Kirk on a path to musical stardom. So, Kirk Knight.
Have you ever had a fateful encounter with Joey Badass? Don't answer that one.
No, I won't. No. Anyway, Joey Badass. That sounds like from a rubbish 50s cartoon. Hey, has anybody seen Joey Badass? He's gonna get you one day, Joey Badass will. I tell you, boy. Anyway, next up is we're going to
Is it now? Now that's what I call music 329.
No, it's now Chris Berry, which is a bit more soulful, dreamy sort of niceness. Is the best way to describe it. Would you like a little bit of Bonner? Because I don't know when you think about it. I'll give you a little bit thingy. I have listened to a couple of tracks, and they're very pretty. Is that a good way to describe music?
Sonic. Like.
That's the only word I had available, to be fair, at the time. Caribbean-born Chris Berry has always brought something special to the world. Blah 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 blah. This is the kind of magic that makes independent multi-criminal.
What genre is he?
She.
Or she?
I don't know, Phil.
Is it just unusual arty stuff? Is that basically what it is?
I'll tell you what. I've still got. I'll have a listen.
Come on then.
Chris Berry.
Chris Berry.
Let's. I'll tell you what it's like. If I remember rightly, it's very just. Oh, it's the best way to describe it. Sort of R&B, I would say.
A bit like smooth soul music, is it?
Yeah, that sort of. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, that will. Here we go. Let's see what Discogs says it is. Chris Berry. She's actually Dutch.
How do you choose these records?
Or
do they choose you?
They choose me, dude. They choose me. But she's a Dutch. She was named the first soul and jazz talent by Radio 6 in 2011. So I take it she's classed as funk soul jazz is what they class her as.
Okay.
Radio 6 thought quite highly of her. So, and it's on a sea-coloured green vinyl.
Well, if that hasn't convinced you, viewer, then
nothing else will.
Nothing else will.
See, when I buy vinyls, sometimes I go on I always put in like up to £5, and I see ones I like, and then I go back the next day and they're still there, and it tells me that there's only one left, and I'm like, oh, so I listen to a track or a couple of tracks.
So you buy them for less than £5, basically.
Well, between £4.96 and £5.99, and then the next day I'm like, oh, it's only £5 or £6, and then I buy it, and then I go back into it, and there's plenty in stock, and it's gone up 500%. So, in some regard, and I always check them as well to make sure that if I'm buying them for £5, that they're worth more than the £5 as well. So, I'm quids in. Anyway, 2 left. Last 2. It's hip hop jazz, Phil. I sent you this the other day. Future Not.
Okay.
I sent you that one, didn't I? And
I think you did. I don't think I've listened to it, but
and it is described as hip hop jazz, if I remember rightly. I will. Future Not.
So we can kind of guess what that's going to be like.
Yeah, well, I only bought that because you said, "Oh, that sounds groovy." There's no buy-up on here for them. So yeah, Future Not. If you like hip hop and jazz and want the two fused together to make a hip hop jazz diamond, then that's your shizzle. Oh wait, last one, Phil. You ready for this? Well, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not touching anything made by Giles Martin.
Is it? Oh, here we go. It is.
The red and blue.
The red and blue. Now, you got it in the box. Now, some people have been quite envious of that because I think a lot of people wanted to get the box, and did it sell out or something? Or
yeah.
I'm right to think that.
To be fair,
it's a shame they didn't put a bit more design into the box. To be honest,
Well, Andrew from Parlogram on his video, he was saying that the box they could have been a bit better quality. If you know what I mean, it's almost quite a lazy sort of.
Why they just thought we'll just stick the logo on a white background and stick the 2 album covers next to each other, and there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
You could have designed that, Ben. Basically,
I did.
I could
when
have
I was
designed
4.
It.
Yeah, yeah. So he did say it does feel a bit. I know what he means. It doesn't really sort of have.
Will it be rare? It could be rare, and it's a vinyl
Could be
one.
rare.
So if you
So
keep
I've
that in
listened
very good
to.
nick, then it could be worth something.
Yeah, well, I've listened to. Sat on this thing. My bottom's gone on. I've got one of the discs on at the moment of the Blue album. Now you know what I always say. My ears only hear what they hear. I'm not like you, and you can hear the intricacies of a missing chord at the start of a song. So far, now that my speakers are working, it's not too bad.
Well, most of those on the Blue album have been heard before, haven't they? They're not.
Yes, yeah,
Most of them are not new. They're on the albums that already came out.
yeah,
Yeah, the one that's been most controversial is "I Am the Walrus," where he's very much altered the ending. Um, and some believe butchered his dad's work as well. So I mean,
I
it's interesting if you want to hear an alternate mix of "I Am the Walrus," but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily. I think what's annoyed a lot of people is not the fact that he's done a different mix, but these are being presented as the Red and Blue albums, and so I think people are expecting them to be to some extent definitive, or at
yeah,
least
yeah.
close to definitive. And he's taken a lot of liberties with that one, and it's but
But as we know with Beatles stuff, as I've said this plenty of times, what are you listening to? There's copies of Revolver with a different mix on to other copies of
yeah,
Revolver, and
yeah, yeah. I mean,
so
the only way that you can really hear the original is to hear the master tape. I suppose
yeah,
you could
yeah,
say that that's
yeah.
the only real original. But um,
I
yeah,
did
I mean,
find with I Am the Walrus, it's got more punch. You know when he's doing his do that bit.
they pushed up the vocal a bit. I think, haven't they?
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, it does sound a bit
Um,
more sort of like someone like you're being punched in the back of the head.
yeah, I think that's purely been just pushing the vocal up in the
Yeah,
mix.
I mean, you know
Um,
me, dude. I just hear what I hear, and personally, like I've said before, like you say, unless you listen to the master tapes, there's so many different mixes, so many different versions, so many different, what is the true, I bet even if you said to Paul McCartney, which one of these, the mono, the stereo, which one is the one that he'd probably say, well, none of them is what we actually envisaged it to be. It's whatever the
Yeah,
mixers
yeah.
and the engineers and that.
I certainly have a feeling that Paul and Ringo have not really listened to those mixes.
Yeah,
I don't think they're that bothered. I think they've probably just allowed Giles Martin to do what he wants, and they've sort of signed off on it
yeah,
without analysing them to the degree that many fans have done.
yeah. Well,
But
it's
I
it's
will say, the early stuff in those new stereo mixes, it's certainly more listenable than the original '60s stereo versions.
yes, because in one of our previous videos, and we ranked with the Beatles, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I listened to that in stereo on streaming.
The original stereo, yeah.
It was awful.
It
It
is
was
not good.
it
They're
was
not good.
painful.
So
So
for
it's
me,
a
it's
lot better. It's a lot
yeah,
better.
yeah. And on
It's
headphones,
a,
it's kind of interesting. As you know, I'm still a mono guy with the early stuff. But if you're going to
yeah,
listen on headphones, yeah, they do give you an interesting. It's another interesting angle on them.
yeah, yeah. It's not bad. It's not. I've enjoyed it. Like I say, it gives it a bit more clarity in certain areas and stuff. Unfortunately, there's always going to be a compromise, isn't there? You're always going to have something taken out in order to put something in, I suppose.
Have you actually played the vinyl ones? You played them.
I've got
Chris?
one disc left of the Blue album to go through.
Yeah, which of course is the odds and ends disc, isn't it? Because it's sort
It's
of
the
stuff
odds
that
and ends.
wasn't on the original.
Yeah, and it's got
Which
somewhere
is a
halfway
weird
down here.
choice. That was a weird choice they made. They remade the CDs are new in effect because they've added all the new songs in amongst the track
Yeah.
listing, whereas the LPs you get the first two LPs in each set are basically as they were before in 1973. Those compilations, and then you get these extra songs on another
I'm
disc. So you start chronologically again on disc 3, which is kind of
yeah,
weird.
I'm a bit thinking they could have put Rain on it. I think that's missing.
Yeah, I think that's the one on the Red Album that most people thought was missing.
Yeah, but it's a bit weird because Now and Then actually isn't the last track either.
No,
Uh,
that's a weird one.
which you would have thought it would have been the last track, but you can see on there it comes.
Yeah, that's the most weird LP. Let's just look at that track listing again. That's a very bizarre. Where does it start? Let it be across the universe, along a winding road. Now and Then. Okay. So did they put Now and Then at the start of the new disc? Is that what happens?
Tell you what, let's have a look.
I think that's what they've done, isn't it?
I tell you what, I've got 2
done.
discs left to listen to. Let's put you up there. Don't crease, don't crease. I mean mine.
I mean, mine's a
Now
new
and
edition.
Then starts side 5 just before Blackbird.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of a weird. That's a weird compilation now, I think, in that order.
Because you would have thought they would have made it the last track, so it flowed with the single.
Well, they do on the CD. If you stream it or you listen to the CD, you'll get all the tracks in chronological order rather than that. But I suppose they were trying there to preserve the integrity of the original album sides, which people have loved. Careful, don't damage it. There you go.
There we go. But I still say, if you want a gateway into the Beatles, these are always the go-to albums, aren't they? Really,
they do give a good gateway in for sure. I think they've actually been expanded. In my opinion, they've been expanded too much because I think there's stuff on there that is better if you discover it when you go into the albums.
Yeah. Do you think Art Deco will be releasing
Art Deco? I'm sure he'll be putting out his
Red and Blue album.
3-disc best of quite soon. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's quite funny because that hip hop jazz album, Future Not, that cheekily is called The Greatest Hits.
Well, there you go, viewer. Have you heard of any of Ben's records, apart from the Beatles and the Manic Street Preachers and Blur? Let us know. Tell us what you think. And has he inspired you to go and check any of those out, particularly Mr. Art Deco?
Or Milk Jennings.
Milk Jennings. Milk Jennings is going to be my pick first, I think. I think he might be. Yeah. He might be up my street.
Yeah, go check them out. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments down there somewhere.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with another one. All the best.
Ciao.